Alright, welcome everybody to Let's Play Dark Souls Prepare to Die Edition. I am Terminal Twist, and I'm here to hopefully bring you what will be a Let's Play of behemoth proportions that will be dearly loved and hated by many people. Now, in Prepare to Die Edition, they've gone ahead and added a lot of new things to the game, such as bosses, NPCs, enemies, new weapons, and armors. And that should make for an overall much better experience. So we're going to go ahead and start a new game here and do our best to complete this. I'm Twist, of course, and I am a male. We're going to go ahead and I believe we're just going to go ahead and start this Thief, simply because it's the well-rounded stats that I want for the character that I'm going to build. Now, there are a bunch of other characters. You've got your Warrior and your Knight, which are going to be basically your tankies. You've got the Wanderer and the Thief, which are kind of well-rounded classes. In an odd way. They're more of your dex-rounded classes, so they're going to be really high on their dex, and then round off a little bit everywhere else. Then you've got your Bandit and your Hunter, and these are going to be not necessarily your melee classes, but you've got one really heavy melee right here in the Bandit, and then you've got your guy who really uses a lot of dex and things such as rapiers and bows. And then down here we've got our caster classes. A lot of people like to start with Pyromancer simply because at level 1, you can begin to upgrade him as absolutely soon as possible, and you don't really have to worry a whole lot about needing additional souls to get him where he needs to be as quick as possible. However, his stats aren't as balanced as I would like them to be for the class that I'm going to make, so I'm going to go ahead and skip Pyromancer and start with the Thief. And of course, if you're an absolute glutton for punishment, we've got the Deprived, and it starts with nothing but a plank shield and a club with 100% rounded stats, all the way to 11 across the board, but he starts at level 6, so it'll be a fat minute before you're able to level him up right off the bat. So let's go ahead and take our Thief, and we'll go ahead and start this. Our gift, since we already start with the Master Key as the Thief, we're going to go ahead and take Black Fire Bombs. And I'll show you why here in a little bit. It's a nice little thing to get right off the bat. Go Average Physique with the Astora Noble face and receding hair. We'll make it red, because I want to. So we're not going to see his face a whole lot, I don't care, but if you really want to, you can come in here to the Customize, and you can really edit the face. And unfortunately on the Dark Souls engine, if you start editing faces, you usually end up with some misshapen blobs that don't look very good at all, and you just kind of wish you never messed with it. So I'm just going to kind of leave it how it is, and we're going to go ahead and start this game. I'm going to shut up during cutscenes so we can all see what's going on there, and you don't have to listen to me properly. So, without any further ado, here's Dark Souls.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith and her daughters of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenge the dragons. Gwyn's mighty gods peeled apart their stone skins. Witches weaved great firestorms. Leto unleashed a miasma of death and disease. And Seath the Scaleless betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more. Thus began the Age of Fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers. And man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark side. Yes, indeed. The dark sign brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world. This is your fate.
And there you have it, the opening to Dark Souls. A couple things before we actually get started on this Let's Play. I'm definitely going to try, and by try I mean make a conscious effort to keep the cursing in the language at a minimum. I cannot promise that it will stay that way, but I'm definitely going to try here, and nobody can say I didn't. Now, another thing about Dark Souls Prepare to Die Edition, the first thing I noticed right off the bat was it looks 12,000 times better than the previous regular everyday PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 edition of Dark Souls. Everything seems, I don't want to use the word brighter, but I do want to say more vivid. There are a couple things in the game, just everything takes on a new visual style. It looks like they really did a good job loading what appears to be a high-def texture pack over on an update for Prepare to Die, which I really enjoy. It looks just stunning as compared to how it looked, which was already very good. Which brings me into where I noticed it in the opening cutscene. That will probably be the longest cutscene we get for the game, simply because the Dark Souls and Demon Souls games have never been big on handing the story to the player. Instead, they let you kind of inference your own idea about exactly what direction the story of the game is taking and how everything kind of relates to each other through context clues, discussion with NPCs, and item descriptions. Things that, if you don't take the time to really look at and engage yourself with, you're just not going to get the full scope of the story. I'll do my best to kind of have a little bit going on to show what's going to happen with the story and what's been going on and all that. But if I can, there are a few good lore series here on the YouTube that I highly encourage some people to check out because it just is a very deep and rich story, a deep and rich lore that makes everything just that much better when you can understand exactly what's going on. Now, the reason we took the fire bombs is because this guy right here, if you can kill him here, instead of killing him later, you get his big old hammer. So if you play the Thief, and I only encourage this if you play as the Thief, because the Thief already starts with a Master Key, go ahead and take the Black Fire Bombs, and why not get it just to say you have it? If you don't start with the Thief, however, I highly encourage you to start off by taking the Master Key to kind of help out throughout the game, not without the game. Good lord, I can't even speak right now. So as you can see, victory achieved, Demon's Great Hammer, which is actually one of the most useless weapons in the game at this point, simply because it takes a ridiculous amount of strength to even dream about wielding it. I mean, look at these pots! They're all glossy and delicious looking. Not that I would eat one, maybe. But in the old game, they were kind of dull, and didn't look very good at all. Kind of like a BC Stone Age pot as compared to these glorious Ming Dynasty works of art. But let's go ahead and continue on here and get the bonfire lit. But yeah, I really enjoyed always that the game didn't hand the story to you. So again, I will definitely do my best to kind of explain what's going on as I see it. Of course, there's tons of opinions on what exactly is going on in the Dark Souls universe and why everything is the way it is. And I highly encourage you to make your own inference as we play through the game and kind of figure out what's going on. But for now, let's just get our equipment and get going through the game. Now, to equip, if you're playing on the PlayStation 3 or the Xbox, go ahead and press your start button and you can navigate your menus here. And on the computer, the entire control scheme is plagued with nonsensical ideas. There's just nothing works the way it should, nothing works well. They've mapped every key to the keyboard, which I completely understand. I guess if you're going to be using the keyboard to play the game, you're going to have both hands on the keyboard. Yeah, the controls somewhat make sense, but the fact that there's just things mapped to buttons that nobody ever uses ever in a computer game really throws you off. To the point that, for example, the buttons for attacking, a simple right-handed attack or heavy attack, are mapped to H and U. Those are two buttons that are never, ever, ever, ever used in computer games in conjunction with an action that is done quite often. So, just the way that some of the things are mapped, if you decide that you're going to get this game not on the PlayStation, but on the PC rather, if you decide that you're going to do that, and you would like to play the Prepare to Die edition, and they don't release DLC on the Xbox 360 or the PS3, then I highly encourage you to go ahead and pick up a PS3 controller and an Xbox 360 controller to play it on the computer with a controller that just makes the control scheme and makes just everything work better than it would otherwise. I personally am using a PS3 controller now, using an emulator to trick the computer into thinking it's Xbox because Microsoft sucks and won't let you use a PlayStation 3 controller, which I prefer. I like the way it fits in the hand just a little bit better, but that's me. I'm not going to tell you that you have to use one. If this guy would hurry up and give us our things. Yes, an undead favorite, yes, indeed. Alright, that's our healing item, and keys. Oh, okay, so if you kill the Asylum Demon, he gives you the key. Apparently he already had it, he didn't use it to get the fuck out of here when he had a chance. His fault for dying. So we're going to go ahead and continue on our way here. Oh, you're done. But the game itself should be absolutely tantalizing with all the new bosses and all the new brand spanking new glittery shiny things that they added to the game. The camera's fighting me, unfortunately. Get out of here. Now, I know a lot of people have seen or heard about some of these other Let's Plays, or you've seen and played the game yourself, but hopefully this will be just slightly different for the fact that we're doing a full run-through of Prepare to Die. That's something that I don't think I've seen anybody really announce, and I don't think I've seen a lot of people really declaring that they're going to do a Prepare to Die run-through. Instead, I think we're going to see a lot of people trying to do just the boss fights and all that, but I really think since it's a new experience, we should go ahead and get all of it that we can get. And just kind of see if anything else in the game has changed since they added new enemies rather than just new bosses. So since there's new enemies, I really want to see what happened in the world, what happened in the game world when we were gone and not playing through while waiting for Prepare to Die. So hopefully this little tutorial area will open up into the larger game area and really show off what they've changed and what they've done. Oh man. Is he gonna let me? Is it? Yeah. Oh no, these bloodstains, anytime this happens, you can see these shadows. And these are other people in their game. So this is some other guy on Steam who got wrecked here. So that's him dying. And I will try to watch those as often as not, because why not watch everybody else die in the Prepare to Die edition of Dark Souls? I just think that's humorous. Not to say that we're not going to die, we'll probably have our fair share. So, here we go.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the actual game, Lordran. And this is here, just past the tutorial level. This is where we really see the game open up. There's not really a set linear path to take Dark Souls through. There are lots of different ways you can go, and you're never really forced to pick one over the other. So if you really wanted to, you could go do all kinds of ridiculous things right off the bat. And if you decide to do that, all the more power to you. You are absolutely welcome to take whatever path you want. I know a lot of people like to go do the gargoyles first, and that's probably what I'll do, is we'll go up into town first. Simply because that is the easiest way to progress through the game. And progressing through the hardest game ever made the easiest way just attracts a lot of people, I'm not gonna lie. So that's probably what we'll end up doing. But first, let's just kind of go around and get all the little goodies that are hiding in this area. Now, anytime that you're exploring the area, the game doesn't really have a save feature other than the autosave. So you can't go save the game, try to fight something, save the game again, try to fight it, save the game again, and try to fight it, and continue to die, and reload the game with no consequences. Anytime you mess up, anytime you die, there's going to be a consequence for your action, which is another really big part of the game. And it's to the point where it's just an awesome adventure to go through and see everything that's going on with, you know, how you decided to take one path and you messed up on it and take another one. Alrighty, so it looks like on October 25th, DLC will be released in Japan for the PlayStation 3, and it will cost 1,200 Microsoft points or $15 on the PlayStation Network to get the Prepare to Die downloadable content. So it looks as though, yes, you will indeed be able to play Prepare to Die on something other than the computer, which absolutely makes a lot of sense. I'm really glad they did that because controllers will make a lot more sense than the PC controls do. But if you just absolutely cannot wait, then yeah, go ahead and pick it up on Steam and see if it's not something you'd be interested in, because it's a ridiculously good game and everything just works very well for it. So, just with that said, I think we're going to go ahead and cut the video here and tell you all have a great time, and we'll see you next time. Remember, if you liked what you've seen so far, go ahead and like and subscribe. We're definitely going to try to have at least one video per day, if not more, uploaded of Dark Souls. So definitely, if you got any constructive criticism, anything you really want to say, please leave it in the comments section. We'll do our best to get back to you. If not, hey, do what you got to do. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you have to do anything or beg you for shit, but definitely, if you liked it, we would enjoy knowing that you liked it. That's all. We really want to know that people are enjoying what we're doing. We want to spread the love of the games to everybody in the world. So go ahead and let us know. Like, comment, subscribe, and you'll have a good one. We'll see you next time.